Hey guys, Big Chonis coming to you on a Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving. Hope everybody is looking forward to a good turkey day tomorrow. I wanted to come to you talking about some of my thoughts on Bitcoin's price action today. Yet another touch of the $9,500 area. Quite impressive once again. And very important that we close in a way that this does not become some sort of a tweezer top. Now, I've been trying to point out tweezers, kind of all the way up here. We had a couple, again, this was like intraday when there were candles that looked tweezerish, only to either put in a higher high or not look as tweezerish after the day was concluded. So with 6.5 hours left to go in our day, still time for this candle to be a little more meaningful than what it currently looks like. But once again, we have rejected the $9,500 area for a second day in a row. Volume still remains very consistent. We can see that on our on-balance volume, though. We are putting in this lower high, even though we're putting in a higher high in our overall price action. I do find that interesting. Now, we've seen bearish divergences in the OBV previously. This one here was also dropping with a higher high in Bitcoin's price, only to then blast higher. And we are doing definitely this little tightening, triangle consolidation here. But definitely something to keep an eye on if we're unable to achieve that. Real quick, I am Big Chonis. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Big Chonis. Please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy my content. Guys, I hit 50,000 followers on Twitter yesterday. Very excited. Really appreciate all your love and support. And just to let you know, in celebration of my 50,000th follower on Twitter, at BingBon Official has allowed me to offer the first 100 people that sign up with a new account a match bonus of $100 if they put a minimum of $100 into their account and do at least one trade. I do plan about talking a lot about how I like to use the BingBon exchange. I've been using it for a few months now. Very happy with it. They consistently are adding new coins and many more are on the way. It's very stable. You can long and short, do all the other things you can do on other exchanges. Very clean, easy to use. Definitely enjoy using it. So definitely, if you have not signed up, take advantage of that bonus. It's a good time to do so. Back to Bitcoin here. We also been watching our chalk and money flow, and this thing has been hella bullish. Remember, we quantify the CMF with a range above our zero line here, and we've been very nice, very nice. But there's something going on here, right? We can see we're breaking below our channel, and our channel that's kept us riding high this entire way up. This is not a good sign here. This is CMF. We're losing our money flow into our price action relative to volume. And that's notable. That is actually one of the more bearer things we've seen on this whole run up in quite a while. Our RSI is still flagging, okay, but arguably I would consider this a weak bearish divergence. And the reason I say it's weak is because we want to see define lower highs in the RSI while the price action is rising higher. That basically shows you the price is not really equaling the true strength of the move. We're seeing kind of a leveling out, we could argue, of our RSI, and because of that, still nothing to be worried about yet. It is at a very strong 79 here. Okay, we've definitely dipped and doodled a bunch in this area, and it would take a lot to get us much lower, which would make it a little more scarier here that we actually are losing that momentum. We also have a nice triple top here, okay? Very interesting. We look for patterns in our RSI as well. And here's 1, 2, 3. And that's notable. I wouldn't call it like a head and shoulders in that context because they're pretty equal. We'd like to see something lower on both the left and right shoulders here. But this is very at a perilous pace in the sense that we expect the continuation of our bullishness to continue, and a little more sideways wouldn't be the worst thing, but staying up the high 80s is definitely pretty important and essential. Our daily stochastic, we never got to our top range on this last move here, so we do have running room, and we have running room with potential of our indicator to roll over bullishly back up into here. Keep an eye on this here, because if we keep spreading, this could be actually more of an ankle down to the full zero reset, which would take a long time. We still have our 50 line to break through first. This is our MACD. Now, we've been doing our MACD for quite a while here, And what we look for is a couple things. We like to compare it to previous big bull runs, right? The one we had back, of course, of all-time high run. We see how high that got. Our 2019 only got maybe half of our 2017, and we definitely eclipsed at this point our 2019 move here. And that's significant as to where we currently are, just hella bull volume. We also have a consistency of bullish histograms here that has not had your blow off top type moves, but rather very consistent humps of breakouts, consolidations, breakouts, and a very steady, orderly rise up. Orderly and systematic, very clean, arguably organic, maybe more so than a lot of these huge pumps kind of out of nowhere. Either way, we haven't rolled over. We're doing a little humpy hump here. Still got lots of space between our indicators here. And it would not take much, though, for us to put in a red histogram, because as you can see, we're not that far, relatively speaking, from our zero line. Let's get back to Bitcoin here. Okay, so we're watching for two things. What is the shape of this candle when we close out in 6 hours here? Could it be defined as a tweezer? Okay. Are we going to get a bearish engulf as another possibility? Or we just put another green candle in if we can retest and basically close anywhere above 19,200 and call it $20 or so. Look at the 3-day and get a sense of that. Again, we close out a 3-day in 6 hours as well. This epic run of 3 days. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in a row. We've done more, if you can believe that, back in 2013, I believe. It was like 22, but they were small. Like that was when Bitcoin was like, that was like the move from like $10 to $80 or something. But again, historically speaking, tremendous, okay? And at some point, we will reverse this trend. This is a 3-day. This is 30 days straight, basically, of 3 days that are holding our green price action. Every wick has been a higher high. Every bottom wick has been a buying opportunity. And there's still nothing particular about this candle yet that gives any kind of concern. Hence, we'll see what we got in 6 hours here. And all the other indicators, because we're at a higher time frame, are still, similar to the daily, except one, and that is our stochastic RSI on the 3-day. Now, I look back in history here, and I was trying to measure our length of time of being pancaked flat at the 100 up here, and we're at about 24 days. Now, I did find one other time, again, that same time back when we had that huger run of the 3-day as well, where we were over 30 days, So historically speaking, this is epic, but not necessarily unprecedented. What we're looking for is this kind of turn at some point. Now, from a bullish perspective, we've turned, come down, come back up, pardon me, before. So who's to say we can't do that again? Even a small corrective move can still keep our Stokes up here above the 90 area, and that's important to maintain that, obviously. The week is still a lot left to go, but our month is, got 5 days left, all right? It's hard not to argue about this overall monthly candle. It looks truly epic. One of our bigger ones from a candle body perspective so far. We could see that change when we close it out, right? And see where that kind of progresses. What's more important really is where we are in relation to our indicators, starting with our Bollinger Bands. Our expanse above the upper BB again is just amazing. What's also amazing is the fact that at this width of the Bollingers, here and here, where we've seen historically we can break and close outside of it. But at the spread, right, we only kind of did that with these last two candles here until we came way back in. So the possibility of putting in another one of these monsters next month, it's there. I can't argue that it's not a possibility. But, we have to extend the sack that we are so above while the bands are so wide, you know? And that's what the width of these showing the volatility of the move makes you put in perspective, to the sense that we're so wide here and we're way out above by by $5,000, similar to what we did here. Remember, we were above at 10 and got as high as 20 intra month, so we were almost $10,000 above our upper Bollinger Band then. Again, epic but not unprecedented. So 5 more days left to the monthly. Every other indicator, across the board is just through the roof, all positive, not overbought from a historical perspective. Monthly RSIs were up in the 90s. We're only at the 70s here, right? That's just something there, right? Just a little something right there. Oops. What was this? Oh, that was my thing from earlier. We have a little, sure, on the monthly, a little area here where was some support. Really nice support, actually. And then a little shake right there, resistance. And then there's the back test where we are right now, once again, right at this level of about 73. So that's kind of interesting. Ideally, we close above that, maybe use it as support this time. But watch for that rejection, and it'll be pretty obvious with another nice croc down. Again, it's the monthly, so a much higher time frame all around. Let's look at a lower time frame chart, done some kind of big volume perspective. Kind of take a look at where we are right now. Now, from a trader standpoint, if you will, what we can clearly see here is that Bitcoin, with the hourly especially, Bitcoin loves to do something where it can kind of find a range, okay? And then in that range, it can spoof you out while remaining in the range. And the spoof outs tend to be with the breaks of the 1 hour Bollingers. This one was pretty significant, and the extent we were below it, okay, it was actually a nice buying opportunity. Okay, but as you can see, once we break above, now we're doing the same range again, using our upper Bollinger as resistance and our lower Bollinger as support. Break the upper one, resistance, break the lower one, support. And sideways we've been going basically the past several hours after our second attempt we had here on this. Again, hourly candle, little doge there, top there. It's not a good looking hourly candle right here, the one that's marked our top so far. There was definitely some aggressive selling once again in that area. But we are holding a higher low, right, in the day. We are holding this line, more or less. I guess I can come in here now. All right, maybe we're rejecting it, but we're still right there. And we could just be ascending and taking a little more time, right, to get up here and do that other attempt. A little more of this, and then boom. And it's definitely possible for that to happen while we're up here, because we don't have any kind of a meaningful rejection on the fact that we can't get above 95, and we're only, from there just a couple $100 from Bitcoin all-time highs. That's very notable. I want to look at a couple more things here. I wanted to look at Bitcoin dominance, which has found a little support while it pushed over 19K. Oops. And what was notable, there we go, was that where we are right now in this range, and I did put a tweet about this yesterday, is we are in the area here where we want to see alts, or if you want to see the continuation of alts really have their amazing pumps we've seen, we want to continue to see that Bitcoin dominance drop. While we're in this zone here from 64 to 60, I'd probably say 62 now, even though we found support here. I'd want to feel like at this point, maybe up here now is where our true low should be in this zone. Because of the way we reacted to it, we're way oversold, refix that quick. We've seen that a lot. That's fine. But now we're back in the remix, which can basically, you will see select alts hold up better. Some might have movers here and there. Remember, Ethereum was such a big mover that led up this entire move. Okay, and we got as high as, 620? Couple wicks of rejection there. Still kind of hanging on. Relative pullback. Nothing to be afraid of yet. In reality, we're just back testing. This line of resistance broke through it. There's our back test, and it's holding. So can't really say we're looking at major breakdowns here until call it 575. If we start losing that area, then we could see, all right, maybe we need to come back and retest meaningful areas that were that last area of resistance before their support. And that does fall pretty quick because of how quickly we actually rose up in this area here. Now, on this way up with Ethereum, we've definitely seen pullbacks along the way. And even though those pullbacks, right, we ripped from 230 to almost 5. Big pullback to 3s, kind of hanging around here. Note where we were hanging around was in this area right here of major resistance and then just back testing as support, and quite bullishly actually. It's kind of an obvious thing that just is like obvious in hindsight, right? Maybe to some probably saw it pretty clean, right? That we just were kind of just, as long as we were above 307, 308, 315, everything was good with Ethereum to make another push higher. Didn't necessarily think it would do another 100%, but you combine ETH 2.0 and a little buzz there, and let's push another 100% move, since the doldrums of October, which was like a month ago. So 100% in a month. Now 100% move in a month with Ethereum, okay, that's what happens in crypto, but we also expect pullbacks as well. And I've mapped out our areas of initial first entrance. I don't even have to look at the indicators because I know we're just way above everything. We're back inside the the Bollingers there, but our EMA 12 and 26 are still significantly below anything meaningful, and that brings you all the way down to the lower to mid 530s. I want to talk briefly about Litecoin. It was able to achieve 92, looks like. And get very close to the kind of triangle target area, just a little before. Still good. Either way, similar to Ethereum, by holding that area of resistance now acting as support, that puts you right at about $84, which we're not that far away of, to see if that area can hold. But like all the other ones, we're significantly above all meaningful indicators, EMAs, MAs, Bollinger Bands, histograms, okay? So there's significant downside volume and room, I shouldn't say volume, room, potential. But for now, as long as the Dow's hovering around 30K and what have you, then all is good. We do have the holiday tomorrow, and then U.S. equity markets are a half day on Friday. That'll definitely be very interesting to see how people want to position themselves kind of heading into the slight holiday, potentially taking some risk off the table. Remember, Bitcoin does not have a holiday tomorrow. Bitcoin never ends. It will be open tomorrow as well, even though we're eating turkey. But potentially maybe a little bit of a lower volume day you would expect. Maybe a day for shenanigans, right? When everyone's kind of doing something else and also some crazy Bitcoin price action takes place. Wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, guys, really appreciate you hanging out with me today. If you're interested in doing some leverage trading, check out BingBon. They're offering, because of my 50,000th follower, a $100 match. It's a cool offer. It's a cool deal. Love to have you over there. You can find my link on this code as well as in the tweet. I'll probably talk to you guys tomorrow and see how Bitcoin reacts, and more importantly, what our daily candle looks like on the way out. Until then, it's Big Chonis. Have a safe and festive Thanksgiving. We'll talk soon. Gobble, gobble.